Alright guys, welcome back to our unique devotion. So, I'm doing the video this way like I was doing in the old ways. I like being able to do what I've done in the last couple videos, which is show the actual scripture while I'm reading it. But if I do my workout, I'm kind of shaky sometimes from afterwards because a lot of times I come right in from doing my workout. Haven't had a chance to really grab a bite yet, and I sit down, so I'm shaky if I'm trying to hold it, or I just haven't found right lighting, right. It just seems awkward, and I want to make it easy for you guys to read, or if I watch it again, for me to be able to read it without distractions and minimal distractions. So I'm just gonna have to think about that and work on that. I definitely don't want to build a contraption or buy some new thing to hold my camera. So I'm just gonna think about it. I'm gonna go back to the old way and do a couple videos like this, and hopefully I'll figure it out, and we'll try that again. If you guys like one way better than the other, I know there's not a whole lot of you here, but if you like one way better than the other, um, let me know if you'd rather see the scripture while I read it, or if you'd rather just listen to me and my facial expressions and my hands waving and things happening. Let me know. So, Galatians 1, it's chapter 1, verses 11 through 17. This is called Call to Apostleship. So, here's the scripture. But I make known to you, brethren, that the gospel which is preached by me is not according to man. For I neither received it from man, nor was I taught it, but it came through the revelation of Jesus Christ. For you have heard of my former conduct in Judaism, how I persecuted the church of God beyond measure and tried to destroy it. And I advanced in Judaism beyond many of my contemporaries in my own nation, being more exceedingly zealous for the traditions of my fathers. But when it pleased God, who separated me from my mother's womb and called me through his grace to reveal his Son to me, that I might preach him among the Gentiles, I did not immediately confer with flesh and blood, nor did I go up to Jerusalem to those who were apostles before me, but I went to Arabia and returned again to Damascus. Where does God come from? So I'm back at the beginning of this, and as I'm reading, but I make known to you, brethren, that the gospel which is preached by me is not according to man. For I neither received it from man, nor was I taught it. I think this is important, and seasoned Christians should even pause from time to time and think about this question. Because God, in a way, can come from man, telling you what you should or should not be thinking, telling what you should or should not be feeling, and you then habitually just there. You just do things. The organized church has its good foundations and lots of good things, but sometimes as humans we tend to get caught up in the habits. I think I talked about this before, about prayer, in a couple videos before, how when you're praying, sometimes it can just be, you sit down at dinner time, you say the same thing over and over again, and you don't really put any thought to it anymore like you did the first time. But what you want to do is kind of actually pause and go back to that first time in your mind and how you felt, what you were thinking. So, back to this idea of where does God come from? In your heart and in your mind, does he come from the traditions and the thought processes that have been passed by people around you to you, but you haven't really put any thought into it? You haven't really asked why or had any depth to it. You're not really making a connection to God, you're just making connections to random thoughts that people have given you. But the second you ask God, well, why do we have to do this tradition? What is the purpose behind the prayer? why is baptism important to me? Why is it good for me to have my heart in a positive direction? Why do I need to worship you in this way or that way? It's not questioning to get you to say, oh, I don't need to do this sort of thing anymore because people are telling me to do it. It's more, where does it come from? Is the worship and the communication to God, the prayers, the actions that you do in church, are they coming sincerely from your heart, from your mind, from your soul, from your entire existence? Which takes some practice and some careful habit. But at the same time, recognizing that there may be some things that you just arbitrarily, randomly kind of do because others told you to, and maybe you don't 100% know why, but that's time now to think about that. So as you're going through your day-to-day, don't hash this out too much and boggle your mind. As you're going through the day-to-day, ask yourself, where is God coming from in the situations that I'm going through? And do that all week. And then especially on Sunday or whatever day you go to worship, some churches worship on Wednesdays, some do Saturday nights. Whenever you are worshiping, ask yourself, where is that direction coming from? Is it coming from me and I'm in full worship, full engagement of communication with God? Or am I just habitually doing things because I was taught that by people, and there's no real communication foundation there. It's a little bit empty. Not that it isn't without purpose, but it's slightly empty. There's not as deep of a connection there, if you will. Maybe that makes sense. So that's a really big question, so that's why the video takes a little bit longer here. Let me repeat it one more time. In your life, where does God come from? Think about that. I hope that God gives you all the blessings you deserve, and even more so, all the blessings you don't deserve. Until next time, have a wonderful day.